Thank you, Jen. I think for the sake of everybody's calendars and time, we are going to go ahead and get started. I want to go ahead and thank everybody for joining us today. It looks like we have a small but mighty group. Ola and Brenda, we have a large portion of United Way staff on the information session today. So I think our team's going to be excited to hear from you, as well as those that pop in as we move on with the conversation. Just a reminder to those that are attending the Impact Tour today, these are opportunities to learn a little bit more about some of the programming that United Way funds that does impactful work in our community right here in Racine. And today we have the pleasure of having Brenda, who is the Chief Philanthropy Officer, and Ola, who is the Director of First Choice Pre-Apprenticeship Program, both from Racine Family YMCA, to talk to us a little bit more about the YMCA and the First Choice Pre-Apprenticeship Program. So we're very excited to have both of you. Thank you for being here today. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with Brenda, because she's going to talk a little bit higher level about the why and some of the work that they do in the community. So Brenda, why don't you start us off just by talking a little bit more about the mission and vision of the Racine Family YMCA.
All right, thank you so much. Hello, everyone. So our mission at the Racine Family YMCA is to put Christian principles into practice through programs that build body, mind, and spirit for all. We are an inclusive, cause-driven organization. We welcome all as we demonstrate a vision to build strong youth, families, and communities. The Racine Family YMCA was founded in 1875 with 50 individuals and has grown to serving 15,000 or more households a year. And we have been responsive to community needs for all of that time, offering programs that address existing and also watching for and meeting emerging needs. So that means, in addition to traditional programs such as health and wellness, youth sports, day camp, swimming instructing, a growing number of people who live in and around Racine and Racine County turn to the Y as a place to nurture their family relationships, reconnect with children, socialize in safe environments, develop leadership skills, stay out of trouble, accept and fulfill roles and responsibilities, participate in community health, and prepare for gainful employment through OLA's program, and access other resources.
Wonderful. The Y does a lot of really impactful and crucial work in the community. Now, Brenda, we have been a long-standing partner of the Y. Can you talk a little bit about how the investment and the partnership from United Way of Racine County has an impact on the Y and those that you serve?
Yes, with gratitude. Thank you. As a nonprofit partner of United Way of Racine County, our organization benefits from generous financial support and commitment that allows our organization to provide transformative programming for underserved youth and families in our county. We also benefit from the outreach and promotion resources, educational offerings such as lecture series and networking opportunities with other United Way partners. Those resources increase our effectiveness in serving Racine and all of Racine County, and we are very grateful.
Thank you, Brenda. Now we're going to transition over to talk a little bit more about program-specific topics, and I am so excited to have Ola here participating with us. He is a longtime friend. I know Ola from very, very long ago, in the early 2000s or right around there, right, Ola?
Yep.
And so you've been in the community for a long time, and I was born and raised here, so we've come across each other many times, but your program is great. We are a proud supporter of it. So would you mind just by starting and talking a little bit about the history of the First Choice Pre-Apprenticeship Program and how you got to where you are today?
Okay, thank you very much, and good afternoon, everybody. And being here from a busy schedule. This program really started in 2005, 2006 as First Choice Pre-Apprenticeship. And the reason why we started this initiative was to help ethnic minorities and women get into the building trades. Because at the time, less than 1% of ethnic minorities in Racine work in the building trades. And we say, okay, let us do something to help these individuals become part of the workforce of Racine. Yeah. And we created this initiative and said, okay, this is what we're going to do, 6 weeks of training. And we've been partners with United Way ever since. Maybe a couple of years we didn't get any investment from United Way. The reason why was because, we got a large grant from the state to train people for the I-94. However, after that contract ended, we went back to United Way, and we've been with United Way now. Total number of years, about 13. And thank you very much for the great work you guys are doing. We're just a partner with you to make sure that then you have people who become part of the workforce. So what we do is a 6 weeks program, and when we created it, people say, hey, Ola, why do you do this stuff? Why do you do that? That's it. Something. If you're going to be a valuable employee, you have to be able to read and write. So we created this part of the program. We call it Tools for Success. We've transitioned to call it now Essential Skills. People have to read a book. We have 6 books that we give them the titles, and they have to go to the library because we also want them to use the library. One of those books or 2 or 3 of those books would be For Whom the Bell Tolls, Native Son, Great Gatsby, 1984, Animal Farm, and we want them to connect that book or the city of Racine to that book. We don't want them to tell us the story of the book because we already know the story. We instituted that, and we've been doing that ever since. We also created a nutrition program, so we went in the partnership with a bit of extension. So they will come and teach this class. And the reason why is because, you have a propensity for diabetes and obesity in the community, especially among young people. So we try to help people understand how to spend their food dollars and eat right. And coupled with that, then we do first aid, CPR, so these are the building blocks of our program: nutrition, financial literacy. We engaged our people to understand savings and banking and budget. So, I would say that, we've been partners with so many organizations in this community. HRI is one of them, and many of our students, took advantage of the home buyers program. For every dollar they saved, the federal government gave $4. So some people took advantage of it, and we've seen over 1,800 people in the community since we started this program.
Wow.
Over 400 of those individuals own their own homes now. The first year we began, I believe that we injected $1 million in the purchasing power of those people in the community. They paid rent, they bought gas, they bought groceries, and they did all this other good stuff that people who follow the rules in America, do every day.
So what I love about this program is that it approaches the individual holistically. So you're looking at all of the elements that an individual needs support in order to be successful. It's not just looking at, training them in trade, but it's also looking at their, financial capacity and understanding finances, looking at their ability to read and write and do arithmetic, and really setting them up for success so that when they do go through that 6-week course, they're able to enter into, having some experience in the trades, but also having that fundamental holistic idea of okay, these are soft skills. These are important elements that I'm going to need to know and understand as I go into the full-time workforce, right?
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about, some of the impact that you've seen the program have on your individuals participating in the program? Like you talked about the elements of what you teach them, but what is the impact that you've seen as somebody that's overseen the program for so long?
2 or 3 things I would say. Before we became part of the Y, we worked with the Y in this program called Summer Youth Program. So over a 5-year period, we rehabilitated 62 houses. We built wheelchair ramps for senior citizens who could not afford to do that. We replaced fencing, we did porches, we painted houses. So as part of what we do, and people get trained in Let's Safe work, in addition to the OSHA 10 and OSHA 30 that we provide to them. And these projects, we are hands-on learning skills for them so that, they know that this is what to expect when they go to a job. It's been very fulfilling. People still come back and say, hey, Mr. Ola, this was the best decision I ever made in my life to come to you.
That's awesome. That's got to be a good feeling to know that you're not only supporting your community, but individuals to have sustainable wages and have a career that, is successful and will help support their family, which is great. Now, can you talk a little bit? I mean, I know you mentioned that, we talked a little bit yesterday when we were preparing for today, and you were talking a little bit about like the Urban League. You guys are going into the Urban League and doing some work. So I know that the program itself, you're training them on the elements of education and financial literacy. But then when you're talking about the trades training, what would be an example of some things that your students are experiencing and learning about in the trades?
Couple of things, first of all, they have to know how to read a tape measure.
Okay.
That's the starting block. Okay, because the building trades, they will tell you, measure twice before you cut. And if you can't read a tape measure, you're going to fall short every time. You're going to cut something too short or it's too long. If it's too short, then there's some wastage.
Yep.
Okay, so we do that. We treat, like I said, we've built ramps in this community for senior citizens, which means that we have to measure it. We have to know how many yardage of concrete we're going to buy, to lay the foundation and to do the driveway or to do the ramp. If it's wooden ramp, we have to measure. I can see some folks here that, supported our program many years ago, Melissa and Jay. We designed something, in Caledonia, 700-foot boardwalk. It's still there, and people tell us, they walk through that boardwalk, and the money came from the village of Caledonia, and I think DNR. We built it at our shop, and we took them there in our trailer, and then we installed it. Those are one of the things that we've done in this community.
That's great.
Maybe we're out in Caledonia, but we've done stuff too in the city. If you go down 6th Street, after the bridge, there's a pedestal, across from the rec center, that Parkside has. We also built that observation deck over there.
Oh, that's awesome. All sorts of stuff then. That's great. Now, can you talk a little bit about what partnerships and resources in the community help you kind of achieve what you're doing? So where do you have partnerships currently that the program work with, and how does that work?
Right now, the city has a program called Grow Racine. So they're giving scholarships to anybody who is interested in the building trades. They're $1,500, so first of all, they have to enroll with the city, and then they choose which of the programs they want, either first choice or the other program that is available in town. Those who come to us, we train them. Like I said, it's a 6 weeks training program. We don't do it's just not the academic. We don't just help people pass the test. Yeah. We put them to work so that they can know how to use safely, hand and power tools. Right now we're working with the county. They have 6 kids that came to us, for the Summer Jobs program, and we want to help them understand the difference between working in an office and working on the jobs at the job site. So at the Urban League, because they have some water damage, we're going to replace all the dry walls in that building.
Mhm.
We were there yesterday, took some pictures, and they're excited to be part of it.
Mhm. That's awesome. Those are some good partnerships. I think, we talked a little bit yesterday about the city's program and the offering of 1,500 to help support individuals that are going through programming is amazing. And I hope that you guys have a great response to that, because I think it's a good incentive to have individuals sign up and participate. Can you talk a little bit about some of the misconceptions that maybe people have about your program specifically, or misperceptions that people might have about going into the trades industry just generally? And
The greatest challenge for people of color would be this: they don't know the process, and if they know the process, it's very difficult for them to become part of the craft. So our job is to help them understand the process,
Mhm.
and then we secure employment or apprenticeship for them. One thing about our program is that we follow our students from the first day they come to orientation to the day they become a journeyman. So it may be 4 years, it may be 5 years, it may be 6 years. Funders only look at it from a snapshot of the year they give you the money. But we are working with this individual 2 years later, because at the end of the day, we help them navigate the process so that, they don't get discouraged, because we want them to complete this apprenticeship. We've increased the number of ethnic minorities and women in the building trades. We have, because when you look at the data from the state, it tells you that we have.
Okay.
We don't make a lot of noise. We just do it, the way we can, because most of these individuals who come to us, they have a preconception that, the reason why I'm failing is because I belong to this group. No, the reason why you're failing is because, you are not following the rules of the road.
Okay. So Ola, can you talk a little bit about what is your favorite part of your job as the director of the program? What do you love the most about what you're doing?
Building human capital. I tell them I'm looking for mature, responsible adults. If you're not mature, responsible, we're going to help you to become that.
Okay.
Yeah. The craft is a different thing. If you don't have the tools as an individual, no matter what I teach you, you're not going to really follow through with my instruction.
Yep.
So that's why we focus at the front end, the first 2 weeks, on developing the human capital of these individuals. It's, I enjoy it. I see them, gas station, grocery store,
Uh-huh.
A hardware store, and they say, "Hey, Mr. Ola, Mr. Ola, it was nice. I met you. Some of them I don't even remember their names. It's like, if you've seen 1,800 people, some of you who have been teachers, can tell that too,
Yep. That's
And they remind you that, okay, I was in your class, and this was the best thing I ever did.
That's awesome. I see all your posts on Facebook, and you do see a lot of students that went through your program. There's like, I want to say at least 1 or 2 a week that you're seeing out there. And it must feel really good seeing that and seeing the fruits of your labor at work every day. So that's amazing. Now, can you talk a little bit more about, or talk a little bit about how, if individuals are wanting to get involved with your program, whether that's, do you take volunteers, or just generally if individuals are interested in signing up or referring family or friends, how do they do that? So how would an individual, one, get involved if they're interested in the program, but two, do you have volunteers that people could like come and give their time and their talent with you?
Most of the volunteers we get are former students, because now
Okay.
they have become somebody. They've completed their apprenticeship, they are journeymen or women, and they work in the trades and they say, okay, Mr. Ola, let me come to class and tell these people what I got from you.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
you have that. The other side of it is that our students also volunteer with Habitat for Humanity in the construction of homes or rehabilitation of properties.
Okay.
That's another community thing that we do. Sometimes our students will tell us, hey, Mr. Ola, am I going to get paid? I say, no, you're not going to get paid because it's a volunteer. That's what volunteerism is.
Yeah.
But you're going to acquire some skills that you take to somebody. And that somebody is going to pay you for what you know.
Yep. That's awesome. So, I know that we try to provide a little bit of time at the end of each interview, and Ola, you have done a great job giving us a snapshot of the First Choice Pre-Apprenticeship program. Is there anything else that you would like to add regarding the program that we haven't covered that you think is important before we move on to questions?
Um, you know, I've seen children who came with their parents to us when they were 6 or 7 years old. And when they see me now, they're 20 something, they hug me. It's like, what did
Oh,
I do? I didn't do anything for you. But because their parents came to the program and they secured sustainable family wage, they've done well. You see some of these children now, they're going to college on full ride. Remember something I said earlier on, they read. So if you read, your child is going to read.
mm-hmm. Yep.
So
So,
that is it's a ripple thing that goes in the community. Like I said, 1,800 people. We know we have some knuckleheads, who come, but you can't do without that. Some people are going to fail, because they are ingrained in their past. They don't want to change.
Mhm.
And we have some, we win some, we lose some. But I've enjoyed my time working with these young people.
That's
Some of
wonderful.
them are not very young people too, 40-year-old come to us, 50-year-old come to us.
Well, if it teaches you, life skills that will provide a sustainable wage, it doesn't matter your age, right? It's so important that you are there and that you're present and you're learning, and that's crucial no matter who you are or what age you are. So that's
One thing that I missed is this.
hmm,
There's this perception in the community that the only people we serve are ex-incarcerated people. Far from
okay.
it. Far from it. People come because they lost their jobs or they want better income.
Hmm.
A small percentage of formerly incarcerated people come to us, but and guess what? They are the best successes we've had. People who have come from STF, that is Student Transitional Facility. They used to drop them off to our shop, and they
Hmm.
pick them up.
Yep.
You can't believe it. They are boiler makers and electricians and plumbers and sheet metal workers. We never had those things 2005, 2006.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you. You're doing such great work. And I don't think that we have any questions in the chat right now. I just want to open it up and see if anybody has any questions that's on the session today. If not, we will, I think a couple of ways if you're interested in learning more based off of the feedback that we got from the YMCA, individuals can visit the YMCA's website at www.ymcaracine.org. They have a Facebook page as well as Instagram and YouTube. I believe that we're going to be sending out some videos and pictures with the post session follow-up email that will provide you with some examples of individuals impacted by Ola's program and doing great work out there in the community. And there are some other highlights and exciting things coming up that are being shared on the screen right now. And with that, unless anybody has any other questions, we will let you go.
Ali,
What?
let me say this, this is not
Sure.
Ola's program, it's the community's program.
Yes, I'm sorry. It is
Okay.
the communities program. You're right.
Yeah, that's
You're
okay.
right.
Yeah, because yeah, Ola one day is going to leave this and you know it will
Then the
come.
community will find.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll be able to find another Ola. We hope so, but it'll be hard. All right. Well,
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Ola. Thank you, Brenda, and thank you everybody that attended today. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Otherwise, have a great day, everybody.
Thank you so much.